a trip to Iowa, a reward for 11 nationally qualifying men and 2 more qualifying women from the North Central track and field teams. The Cardinals will compete in a combined 9 events, hoping to bring home some hardware. But before we sit down with some of NCC's track stars, let's first take a look at how the men's volleyball season is going and how the Cards fared against Lakeland College.
Lift off.
Jacob Zemba and the North Central men's volleyball team looking to erase a 5-game skid against Lakeland College. Early first set, Andrew Bergstein with the bump, Anthony Kluzak with the middle strike from Ray Cross, but the Huskies right there and respond with a middle hit of their own. Tim Robbins a perfect 3 for 3 in the first. Cardinals answering strong in the middle of the first. Kraus getting to the outside. This time it's Jake Braceros hammering home a point. 8 kills for number 3 on the night. More action in the early going. Cardinals looking for a lead. Kraus a little set, and the 6'7" Bergstrand sends a fastball right at libero Kyle Krogstad. Foul tip, but it counts in volleyball. Columbia native Mateo Gonzalez serving. Good enough to net the Cards a free ball. Kraus spreading the love. The southpaw Zemba with the kill. Up a point late in the first set, Kraus decides he wants in on the action and smacks one home with a sneak attack. 20-18 Cards lead. Braceros serving. Muskies handling it fine. Setting up the attack, and Matt Stoltz smokes one in there. Is Lakeland trying to turn the tide? Winds shifting hard. Now the Muskies lead 24-21, and Robbins caps a first set win with a kill from the middle. Lakeland up a set. To the second set now. Muskies up 11-8. Now it's the Cardinals' turn to swing the momentum. Why not go back to the leading point getter on the season? Zemba with another kill, a game-high 13 on the night. Lakeland went on a run from there, now up 21-11, looking for some more. Stoltz with a back row spike, harems off Max Lawrence's arms and out of play. Set 2 also goes Muskie's way. Third set, Cardinals battling to make it a match. Lawrence gets it to Kraus, and they play a little give and go. Lawrence just nicks the end line, 21-18 Lakeland. Game point now, Cardinals trailing by 4 and a blocking error on NCC. Game over, Cardinals fall in 3. There is good news though, 4 more home dates await the Cardinals in the next week and a half.
Welcome into the Cardinal Report, and joining me first on set is the head coach of the men's track and field team, Frank Gramarosso. And Coach, you got to be excited. The confidence level and the excitement level have to be up. It's the week before Nationals. You ready for them?
Yeah, we sure are. You know, you try to keep an even keel and not get – we want to be excited, but you don't treat it any differently than any other meet is what we try to teach our athletes.
7 events, 11 athletes. You're bringing a nice contingency down to Grinnell, Iowa. Do those numbers excite you a bit?
Sure. Anytime you have more than one, it's a team. So we're really excited to have that number. And then there are 2 alternates that we can use as replacements in the relay. So having 13 guys, it's great. You're biting your nails the last weekend. Hopefully you're not getting passed up in certain events and trying to protect your spot. But that's the new way. They did away with the qualifying standards. Now every week somebody's going after that spot.
There's a lot of predictive systems that go in before Nationals trying to figure out who's where as far as coming in. They have you at 5 in the computer system. Confident that you guys can outperform that potential 5 ranking?
Well, we just go in and do what we can do. You know, there's ups and downs in all kinds of track meets, and we just want them to be prepared and do their best. And they can look in the mirror when it's all over and say, I gave it my best shot. We can't control what the rankings say or all the other athletes that are in the meet. It's the national championships, and that's what they've been training for, you know, all year long, and some even more than a year.
Now, one guy that's had a lot of success, Luke Winder, he won indoors and outdoors last year, looking for a 3rd title. What are the thoughts about him going into this meet?
Yeah, well, we try to keep everybody staying in the process, and every event coach talks about the process. And you know, he's got a great coach and a great father, and they try to iron things out every week. I know he's chasing his brother's school record. I know he might be looking at the national record, but you got to stay within the process and get out there and just compete. ahead of the other competitors, but in the pole vault, with sprinting down the runway, having a big pole in your hand, and a lot of things can go wrong, and that's why we preach about staying in the process, do what you do on a daily basis, and make that transfer into the competition.
Lineage for the Winders is pretty long.
Yes,
Think he's living up to that name?
Yes, he sure is.
Now, another event I want to talk about, and we'll talk to Adam in a moment, but Adam Lundquist in the 60-meter hurdles, the championship in the conference race was blistering. I mean, you had 3 guys running down right in the middle of that pack. For him, what are the expectations for you?
Well, like any senior, again, the expectations are within, and you can't put that added pressure. You just go and do what you've done every week. We always say that if you do what you did to get there, chances are you're going to have a great meet. And, Adam bailed us out last year in the long jump at conference, and had an injury and affected the last 2 meets of the year, and he belongs at the national level, and he certainly proved that indoors. And he had some injuries this fall, but we worked through those, and it's great to see him get the school record and be the conference champ and go on to the national meet.
Now let's talk about the DMR. It's a really good balance of both youth and experience on that team. Does that help when you try and put together teams, knowing that you have that nice balance?
Well, sure. You want, again, try to. It's one of those unique events that has to have a sprinter, and you have to have some strong middle distance runners, and we kind of pieced it together, but our goal was not only to win that event for the conference championship, but using Aron's help to being our best miler to not only win the conference and get our 10 points, but if the other guys did their job, and he does what he normally can do, we were a shoo-in to make it. But you don't know. I've seen 10:02 not make it some years, and this year, we're ranked high, but we know, Aron's going to concentrate on the mile, and we're using Kenny Hoffman, a steeplechaser, cross-country runner, and he'll fill in that mile mark. And I think a lot of other schools will make some changes too. So same thing. We'll stay within the process. The 2 guys that were on that team can run what they've done to get there, and then our freshman hurdler, give him a chance to get some national experience, and then let Kenny try to close it off, and whatever happens, happens.
Now, the last thing I want to get to before I let you go is the distance, the long distance races, and you have 2 guys that performed really well at cross-country nationals, Tim Vasquez and Zach Plank. For those guys, is it easy for them to translate the success and the experience they've had at cross-country into these races?
Sure it does. Again, there's a process for cross-country, and there's a process for track and field. There's a process of distance running on a daily basis. Now, Tim did not make our lineup in cross-country, but he struggled a little bit, and he's on fire. He's running really tough, and we knew he's capable of doing that. And the same thing, staying within the process day after day after day, getting better from the fall, through the holiday break into indoor track, and it's all in his hands too. And Plank was solid in cross country, and he's in 2 events. So we're always looking for those guys we know have the confidence that they're going to run well. It might not put them on the podium, but they're going to run well. And nationals is crazy. I've seen it a turtle pace, for kickers, and then I've seen people take it out and string it out, and every man to himself. So Tim last year indoors just missed being an All-American, so I think he's on fire with trying to go out as a senior and be the best he can be.
Well, hopefully the whole team catches fire too. Good luck in the meet coming up, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. When we come back, Aron Sebhat and Adam Lundquist hop on set, and we'll be right back on the Cardinal Report. Bergstrand saved. Nice pound by the libero Cartwright.
This week's play of the game belongs to freshman libero Ben Cartwright, who one-hands a precision pass to setter Ray Krause, who tops it off by getting it to Jacob Zemba, forcing a blocking error and securing a Cardinals point. Another look, and yep, definitely play of the game.
Introducing a new day of the week, someday. Now, everything you were going to do someday is on the calendar. Want to retire someday? You'll really want this. A My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov. You can estimate your future benefits and manage current benefits online. Millions of people have a My Social Security account. Get yours today, because someday is here at socialsecurity.gov.
We're back, and taking the hot seats are Aron, Sebhat, and Adam Lundquist. And congratulations are in order for you guys. Not only qualifying, but now you're heading to nationals. And Aron, I'm sure the excitement level is pretty high for you. Being on the biggest stage, is that something that is pretty exciting?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of just take it one step at a time. You know, I feel like this race is going to be no different than any other race. I'm going to be towing the line with probably a deeper field with more high-quality competitors, but the way that I perform and the way that I prepare for that is the same as I do for every other race.
Is it easy to do that? I know it's really a cliche in sports to try and treat everything the same, but do you find yourself, maybe it's more challenging that you have to treat this race exactly the same?
This time around, I don't believe so, but when I was earlier in my career here, I would say that's probably the most difficult thing to get down, is just that realization that it's no different. When you're younger, you're like, kind of freaking out about it. But as you get to, become a senior and you've been around, you've run this meet before, you kind of become more comfortable and you realize what it really is, which is just competition.
Talking like a seasoned vet. This is your 6th time to a national meet. You sound like you're just so accustomed to it. It's awesome. Now, Adam, I want to get to you because the 60-meter hurdles are an exciting event, and that's what you'll be competing in. You were the conference champion. How do you keep that momentum going, winning that conference meet and now going to nationals?
Well, I have to say a conference is such like an emotional high, right? Like you're there and there's like, we're at home this year, so much support from family, friends, teammates. And so, I just kind of remember what that felt like, and just like, like Aron said, it was stay in the process, the same meet as, same race, and nothing changes. And so I don't think it's necessarily like a continuation of momentum, just like sticking along what you've been doing.
Yeah. You were so excited at the conclusion of that meet, and I talked to you pretty much like right after too. You kept that adrenaline pumping into that interview. You said that having your teammates beside you in that race seemed to kind of give you that extra oomph down the stretch. Without them now, because you are going to be in this race by yourself, how do you keep that feeling with you when you get into the starting blocks?
Yeah, well, we talked beforehand, and my teammates and I, and they said, like, you're representing us, and we can't be there. We wish we could have, and not everyone has the opportunity to compete, and I'm grateful for that. And they've said this week and last week that this is your chance to represent us and like really show everyone what North Central hurdling is about and what we work on every day. And I kind of take that as like my motivation is just to run for them, to run for my teammates and my team as a whole. And
it's pretty exciting. You know they're going to be cheering for you. Wherever they are, they're going to be making a lot of noise, probably just as much as they were during the conference meet. Aron, I want to talk about a couple of your teammates, cross-country teammates, in Zach Plank and Tim Vasquez. These guys are tip-top form right now. They're competing at a really high level. Is it easy for them to translate that success that maybe they've had in the past in cross-country to these two, the 3,000 and the 5,000-meter runs?
Yeah, I think it's fairly easy for them. Those guys are model teammates. They're guys that you want to be exactly like, and guys that you just want to kind of copy their every move and their dedication. And I think for them, they understand that the 5K and 3K, training for that is slightly different than training for cross-country, but they make that transition, and the both of them are running hot right now.
Now, the DMR you've had experience in, I've always wondered, is there ever anxiety when you're going to pass off the baton? Because it just seems like there's so many things that could go wrong in that very split second.
Yeah, I mean, I ran a lot of relays in high school and here at North Central. There's not really that much anxiety, I would say, because you're so in the moment and you just want to get that baton and start going. If it is a little crowded, you just kind of take it and you just kind of go off instinct. And if there's somebody that you have to sideswipe or kind of jump over, you just kind of do that and just keep going with the race.
Speaking of relays, the 4x4 team is going to be competing. And how confident are you guys that they can not just compete well, but score some points?
I think we're very confident in our 4x4 team. It's definitely young. We have 2 sophomores, a junior, and a freshman on that squad. But every week they just keep running consistently, and they work out together, and they have so much momentum behind them, and they're so tight knit that I think when the time comes, they all will respond competitively and lay it all on the line for us.
Weather, it's turning. We got 60-degree weather this week. It's phenomenal. You guys excited to get outside?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's got to be nice, especially for runners, or especially long distance runners, it's got to be nice to be outside, right?
Yeah, I like running. I like training on the outdoor track. I like running outside when it's warmer. Definitely excited for that.
Good luck this weekend. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully you can take down some of those Wisconsin teams, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being on, guys.
Thank you.
We're taking a quick break. Head coach of the women's team, Kari Kluckhohn, joins me next on the Cardinal Report.
I started off the year. I didn't place in our first tournament. I wasn't even in the starting lineup.
Freshman, first-year player, rookie. No matter what you call him, North Central wrestler Ben Williamson is heading to the national meet. In his first season, the Naperville Central product joins junior Leighton Binion, as well as senior and fellow former Red Hawk Josh Tardy for the trip to Cedar Rapids, Iowa for nationals.
The beginning of the year, he was my whooping boy, and now it's I got to battle for points, and he'll put a hurting on me if I'm not paying attention. It's cool to have him down next to me. He's gotten so much better throughout the year. When we recruited him, I told him, I want him to be here so he can help me win a national title, and right now I think it's just so I can help him win a national title. He's gotten so much better.
As the season went on, and he just has proved himself to us time and time again. We got closer and closer, and when he qualified, it was just an awesome feeling.
While it's always fun rooting for what appears to be the underdog, once the lights flip on and the headgear clamps down, it does not matter what year or what record a wrestler has, it's mano-a-mano, and these three Cardinals are ready to accomplish their goals.
My goal this whole year has been to qualify and to shoot to be an All-American, so as long as I can do that, get down there, win a couple matches that can get done.
I wasn't even predicted to go to nationals, so with me feeling like I'm peaking and kind of that, I feel like that disrespect I felt like not being seeded or anything, that kind of drove me to make a statement.
It's been a rough year. I've had some losses, so just want to go out there, have some fun, get on the podium, just show everybody what I'm all about, and just put a, period at the end of my wrestling career, come off with an All-American national title.
Competing on the biggest stage, the Cards will wrestle this weekend on Friday and Saturday inside the U.S. Cellular Center.
Welcome back, and joining me is Coach Kari Kluckhohn. And Coach, a pair of athletes heading to nationals. It's got to be a pretty exciting time of year for you. And how excited are you for your athletes?
Very excited. They're two amazing seniors that we've had for the last 4 years who've seen tremendous growth and are awesome leaders. They're both captains for our team, and both really are just excellent role models. They've put everything into it. If two people deserve to go, it's these two.
How proud are you of Megan in particular? She dominated conference, and now she gets to go to nationals, and her story is pretty interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, she had a great conference meet. She did last year as well, but she set 2 conference records while in the meet, and she also was second in the mile. So really had a huge meet. Really came off of an interesting cross-country season. Her place at cross-country nationals doesn't indicate how strong she really was. She lost her shoe and actually ended up with a broken toe from that meet and had to take some time off. So she really transitioned well, though, and really has been very purposeful about what she's wanted to accomplish this season, and has been able to really run excellently the whole season.
Now, Madison is in a race that a lot of times can be decided by that much. Is that something that you talk to the athlete about? You have to get that very fine-tuned edge when you go into a race like that? One, she knows that already. She's the master of her event, honestly. And she's a gamer. We see the T first times, and where people are. She always knows who her competition is. She is the person who welcomes competition the most of anyone I've ever met. So she never is that person that's afraid of good competition. She wants it because it helps to bring out the best in her. But like today at practice, we're videotaping 2 different directions, looking at her start, looking at her hurdles, what little things should we be working on as you push off the blocks with your arms, those first steps, staying low on the hurdles, all that kind of stuff. So even a few days out, you still look at that stuff because those things matter. Speaking of good athletes, you have a full team of them, not just the 2 that are going to nationals. I mean, as a whole, the indoor season was pretty successful for you guys. Some runners are emerging that maybe you didn't expect, or maybe kind of came out of nowhere.
We really had a strong last half of the season. We had a strong group of women that graduated last year. And really in June, I had told everyone that was coming back, regardless of who graduates, people need to step up. We're North Central College, and people came back in better shape. But racing-wise, it took a few weeks and really kind of some direct motivation, and like, you guys are better than you guys are giving yourself credit for. We can do this. So we really saw a huge improvement in the last 3 weeks of the season. They've always been really supportive of one another as a team, but also being able to expect themselves to perform at a level that I know that they could do. So we really saw some really strong efforts out of our 800 group, for example. Some of our sprinters, our short sprinter hurdlers, we had a really nice conference meet. We scored in everything at conference but one event. So we really had a great end of the indoor season for the full team.
Now, we kind of segment track and field into indoors and outdoors, but for you guys, I'm sure coaching-wise, it's kind of one long season because you have to continually condition and keep trying to prepare.
Yeah.
Is there somebody or maybe a group of athletes that you think maybe didn't make nationals this time around, but could improve to the point where they get to outdoor nationals?
Yeah, we actually have several. We went being non-ranked or unranked as a national team until conference, and then we were 16th. And we had several people on the national list. Our freshman pole vaulter was the first one out. She just, she actually didn't get in by a tie break. Yeah. So I think we have a couple vaulters that really have a chance. High jump as well. Some of our middle distance runners. We have pentathlete who did very well in the indoor season and really came from out of nowhere from last year nationally. But we have several women actually that have the chance. We have a great javelin thrower. We have a couple of really good throwers in the hammer as well. So I think that we've got a balance of some of our senior leadership, those women that we see going to nationals right now, and a couple others that have that opportunity. And we also have several that are on the younger side that really this weekend going to the final qualifier we went to really started to understand how to train and compete past the conference championship. It's a very different type of mentality and a very different environment. You don't have 60 women there cheering for you at a final qualifier or even at nationals. So it's really teaching themselves and knowing that they deserve to be there.
Yeah.
So I think we could have a really nice group at the national championships outdoor.
It's always fun to see that progression just over the course of a full season. Before I let you go, I want to do the segment Check the Tape. We're going to look at 3 different, maybe not plays as we typically do, but 3 techniques, 3 mentalities that go into the national meet this upcoming week. The first thing I want to get to is the 5K for Megan Costanzo. Pacing. Pacing is so hard for runners because you have to keep your body in tip-top shape.
Yeah. Well, she loves indoor. She loves outdoor as well, but one of the things she loves about track a little bit differently than cross is she's big on pacing. Her body feels it, and when she gets her splits every lap, and she knows where she is in the, within the race because they do lap counting too. And she gets you get a lot of feedback from a coach, like from Coach Mahesh and Coach Brian, our 2 distance coaches. They'll give her a lot of different feedback throughout the different parts of the race. So for her, when it comes to training, it's that volume that she's done, that really consistent, healthy training for a period of time that's put her in that position.
I want to get to Madison because the hurdles, it looks like, you just have a barrier in front of you just have to get over it, but there's so much more that goes into it. What are the things that you're working on with Madison? Yeah,
well, there's a lot of things really with the 60 hurdles too. It's a short race, so you have to, from beginning to end, you just have to be on. Your block has to be excellent, strong arms, strong push off and really drive those first steps off. We were working on that today. When you're looking at going over the hurdles, staying low on the hurdles, being able to snap down with your trail leg coming off the hurdles, and really digging in those quick steps, those 3 steps between hurdles.
Quickly to Megan, because she's going to have the task of coming back for a second day and running another long distance race. For an athlete like that, what does the preparation look like going from day 1 to day 2?
Well, really, it's we always focus on day 1. Like, what's your first event? You do what you got to do there, and then doing your recovery right after it. She'll ice bath later on after that as well. Do her little shakeout and do a shakeout run on Saturday morning too, just to get her legs, worked out a little bit, some of that junk taken out. But there are a lot of doublers at the national meet in the 5 and 3 or in the 15 and 3. So there'll probably be a few fresh legs in that race, but most people will be coming back. But she has such good 1500 speed too. She doubled outdoor in the 10 and 5. That was her first time doubling. And that's a pretty hard double to come off of a 10 to a 5.
Good luck.
Thank you.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch and see what the 2 athletes can do.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you coming on. Coming up, Madison Renfro joins us on the show. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Proof you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Welcome in, and our final guest is senior Madison Renfro, and congratulations on making it back to Nationals. It is not your first rodeo at Nationals. How pumped are you that you're heading right bound back?
I'm beyond pumped. I'm super excited for it, and I can't wait for the competition. So.
When did you first get into hurdles? Because, as if running isn't hard enough to begin with, you had the whole fact that you're jumping and leaping and sprinting over these gigantic obstacles that I would fall over if I try to get over.
Yeah, I started doing the hurdles in 6th grade, so that was the first year I did track, and it wasn't until the end of the season, and I hated it. And I did it because we weren't going to have any older hurdlers, so I started it in 6th grade, and by 7th grade, I fell in love.
Is it still challenging for you, or is it to the point where you're fine-tuning little things at this point?
Some days are challenges. It's a lot of fine-tuning, but some days you have excellent workouts, and some days you're up and down. But overall, I think it's every day is a challenge, little different challenges. But. Yeah.
When it gets to race time, I always notice it seems like one person in every heat that just happens to knock down every hurdle. Obviously you want to clear it, but what is the mentality when you do collide with the hurdle? Because you just got to keep going, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, power through and drive. They're going to fall down, and you're not going to fall with them. So if you hit the hurdle, you just got to keep pushing through the race and don't even worry about it. Go on to the next one.
That is, unless you go down with it, of course.
Yes.
But hopefully that's not the case. Is it fun and exciting for you to be in an event that is often decided by a split second? Is that like an adrenaline rush, knowing that it's going to be there? It's not like a distance race where there could be 20 seconds separating people. It's going to be split second.
Yeah, it's exciting for me. I think I guess it's good pressure that is put on me, and I feed off of that and the energy of that competition. So I love it. It doesn't bother me. I like it.
Now, I mentioned this isn't your first national meet, and it's not. You said it's your 5th. Is it anxiety before these meets now that you're kind of used to them, or is it like positive energy that you try and expend into the race?
It's positive energy. I don't like looking at nervous. I don't think of it as nervousness. I think of it as excitement, and all the nerves can be turned into excitement and just the adrenaline for the race. So it's all positive.
Now you're going with Megan, and Megan has been having a fantastic season. Has it been fun for you watching what she's been able to do on the track?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Before college, distance races were not very exciting for me, but coming to college and just watching the competition and just watching the different moves and knowing more about it, it's really exciting to watch her
You go
run.
60 meters at a time. Do you think you could go 5,000?
I don't think so.
I'm right there with you. I don't know if I could make it. It's impressive. The fact that she does 8,000 in 2 days, that's so cool. In 1 week, though, you'll be outdoors. I mean, you're starting to practice outdoors, but you will officially be an outdoor trek. Is that fun to be nice and in the outdoors?
Yes.
And that environment?
Yes. Fresh air, bigger track, longer events. So, yeah.
Is it 100-meter hurdles outdoors? It is. Yep. That's what I thought. Do you like indoors or outdoors better?
Outdoors, I think I like better, yeah.
Interesting. So you like the challenge of the longer stretches.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I feel like for a hurdler, it'd be fun to do 60 because it's like crunched, but...
It's fun, but I think it's more fun to have those extra hurdles for you to go over,
More obstacles, right? You're a senior, so do these moments where you're preparing for nationals, are you starting to recognize that these are the special moments that you'll remember?
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll get emotional too when it's outdoor and it's towards the end. Conference is a little emotional, but held it together because we're not done yet. So.
Not there yet. You can't slip into that quite yet. But I have to ask the question because you're a senior. What are you looking forward to over the next 3 or 4 months the most? Teammates, the process, maybe another national meet?
Definitely the process. I enjoy practices with the teammates and just the memories that get made. And then looking forward to outdoor nationals. So
Good luck. And the indoor first. We'll take one step at a time. Good luck in indoor. And thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Best of luck. That's all the time we have. Thanks to all of our guests for coming in. I'm Kevin Jackman. We'll see you next time on the Cardinal Report.